It's Dave Johan once again for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by my colleague John T. How are you, John? You okay?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And we've also got on from Steel City Interactive, the community manager, Faud-Abdul Aziz, who's going to be talking to us about Esports Boxing Club, which is a game which we're all excited to hear more about. Faud, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Getting through this lockdown right now. Hence why I've got a hat on. The barbers aren't open, so we can't go and get our monthly trim, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. I mean, the people that have seen you about, you used to work on Behind the Gloves, and now you're working with Steel City Interactive. How did that transition go?
Well, I've been involved in the boxing community for a while. And yeah, I'm based in Sheffield. Steel City is Sheffield, obviously, if you guys didn't know. The studios here, Steel City Interactive, we communicated, and yeah, we just, got it done. I was very excited about the project before I even, heard about the role or anything. I knew about the project. I think everyone did. I joined forces with them, and it's been fantastic ever since.
Brilliant. And the game, surely Fight Night Champion and the Fight Night range was an inspiration to the developers.
Yep. Of course, yeah. But I mean, EA did a fantastic job of Fight Night. The whole series was great. It's an inspiration to anyone really. If you see what they did, they were so consistent for so long. They really smashed the market at the time. That's why it was so hard for anyone to kind of make a boxing game after that. But our inspiration also came from, it dates back to back to the Amiga days, really. There's been so many other games, the Activision Studios, all those guys. But definitely EA did a fantastic job of the Fight Night series, hence why we haven't seen a game for so long.
Yeah, I mean, the last time a game's been out, Fight Night Champion was released, I'm going to say 2011. Why do you think no one's actually produced a game? I mean, EA had the license and they did a fantastic job, like you said. Nintendo with their previous games with the Punch-Out range, I don't know if you played any of those, but they were very successful games as well, even though they had comical characters. Prince Nazim, Hamid, just to name but 3 games there, and there's loads like you just mentioned. Why do you think there's been a void in the market for so long?
I think if you're into boxing by any margin, and you guys are obviously involved, I think you know the answer before even asking the question. It's just the way boxing is set up as a sport. It's the hardest sport to make into a video game. There's not like a how can I put it? It's single licenses for everyone, So every deal is ultimately made individually. So that's why it's hard. But you see it not even in obviously for the video game. We see it in real life fight scenarios as well. But yeah, it's obviously a huge task to overcome. But yeah, that's the most simplest way I can put it. We're doing a fantastic job of licensing the fighters, and a big shout out to everyone who's helping out with that and doing it very smoothly.
And in terms of the licensed boxers, how did the team choose who was going to be in this game? How did you guys do that? Because there's so many fighters out there. How did you pick the fighters?
It's just we're having a balance really between the boxers that fans want to see. But we're also not just looking at the AAA names. We're looking at the upcoming fighters. I think it's an important key factor. You want to have a wide variety of that, and that's what the game's goal is. We want to have the largest range of licensed fighters in the game. We've got like newcomers like Adam Hamid from the Ingle Gym here in Sheffield, right through to the biggest names in boxing right now. So it's a matter of having the balance and then making sure that the roster is huge. Because boxing as well, you've got to admire the up and comers. It takes 2 or 3 fights, and you don't know who's taking the next turn. So the goal for us to have is to have the biggest roster alongside AAA names, upcoming names, and just as many as we can get involved. Really.
Are the development team fight fans themselves?
Say again, sorry.
Are the development team fight fans themselves?
Oh yeah, the game was born from a passion of boxing. Like most of the studio, like literally, I could say everyone in the studio is a boxing fan, avid boxing fan. And the founder, actually, I'll tell you this: the founder of the studio went on a road trip actually in California to Virgil Hunter's gym. And he just literally went on a road trip just to meet Andre Ward. So you can imagine the passion behind it, to go all the way from here to all the way to California. But yeah, we're massive boxing fans. We have our little gathering as well when we watch the fights, a bit pre-COVID, bit pre this lockdown, where we used to watch the fights in the studio. But yeah, we're all big boxing fans.
That must be excellent, not just having people who are good with gaming, but the knowledge of the actual sport as well, so that when you are doing the game, you can get the characters and fighters at the best you possibly can. You've mentioned you're all fans. While we've got you here, who's your favourite all-time fighter, Faud?
My all-time favourite fighter?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. That's a very good question. I guess because I'm from Sheffield, I've got to say the Prince, obviously. And obviously we've got Adam Hamid in the game now as well. His son was up and coming, but his father, like we say, I think if you ask any Sheffield boy, any boxing fan from Sheffield, who's your favorite fighter, I think Prince Naseem Hamid is the go-to, just because of the way he put Sheffield on the map and the crazy things he used to do in the ring. But yeah, I'd say Prince from back in the day. He's a fun to watch.
Yeah, just to name a few out of that gym, the Fighting City, Sheffield, definite, especially that Ingle gym. And what about your favourite ever fight?
Oh, you've got me there. My favourite ever fight, that would have to be. Oh, this is very difficult. In recent years, maybe the Wilder Fury first one, just because of the drama of it all. Yeah, and if you go back, I mean, there's been some fantastic fights over the years, but that one would stand out in recent memory. Obviously, covering boxing away from the actual fight itself, I think Ruiz Joshua 2 was a spectacle. Not the most exciting fight, but I think it was historical. The fact that it was in Saudi Arabia and everything that led up to it, the stake on basically what Joshua had to fight for, Ruiz obviously as well. So yeah, definitely, I'd say Fury Wilder one though, to answer your question.
Great fight, and the rematch was great as well. And one fight this year that you'll be looking forward to? Is that a stupid question?
No, one fight I'm looking forward to this year. It's hard because I don't think there's not been many announcements. Obviously, actually, the one that's been announced is Povetkin White 2. So I'm going to say Povetkin White 2 just because that's the one that we know is happening. The first one, obviously, being a shocker. Povetkin is also in the game. So yeah, if any fight fans want to remake that scenario with Povetkin with any other heavyweight, he's in the game. So you can play with Alexander Povetkin.
Excellent.
Fantastic. And is the game going to be a next-gen exclusive on the new Xbox and PS5 only? Or, I mean, with the shortages of PS5s and stuff, can it be backward compatible and then go on to PS5 consoles and also the new Xboxes?
Yeah, so it's going to be released on previous gen consoles as well as the current build ones. We've already got a build running on a standard Xbox One. But we are looking to get the game on like the current gen hardware as well. So I think it's key to aim for all of them, and that's what we're doing. That's what's going to happen.
Absolutely fantastic. Were there any boxers that you guys approached that either one, you just couldn't get the license, or second, they flat out refused because the game is sanctioned by, and I say sanctioned because it's endorsed by the WBC, Ring Magazine, two notable entities in boxing, which everyone's aware of. Were there any people there that said no, or?
No, because of the way the game's sort of gained traction over the last year, there isn't anybody in boxing, in the boxing world right now, that's ruled out appearing in Esports Boxing Club at some stage, because the scale of the project is huge. We've got some incredible announcements to make soon, and the pipeline of fighters that we've got is filled right through to 2022. So I think everyone's on board and excited about this project, and I mean, who wouldn't be? It's literally game changing. So yeah,
good choice of words there. So another thing with Fight Night Champion was the fantastic story mode with for people that haven't played it. I urge you to play this now. I'm a gamer as well. You're a gamer. Andre Bishop, from a super middleweight all the way up to heavyweight, gone in prison. The storyline was fantastic, and then you have the final showdown with Isaac Frost. Are we expecting a story mode, or is it just going to be a road to a title in this game?
So the game will obviously eventually have a story mode, but the focus for early access, which is obviously the initial release, is mainly career mode. I think as I said it before, career mode is in sporting games the biggest aspect, in my opinion. Anyway, I think everyone wants to jump on career mode as soon as you get a sports game. You want to feel the life of an athlete, how to build your fire from the amateurs right to a world champion. But story mode is in our sights for the future. We will eventually put it into Esports Boxing Club.
Brilliant. And what makes this different from Fight Night, if there was any differences? Because looking at the screenshots from the website, it looks very similar. Is there any sort of changes? Because I know EA used the full motion punch control using the analogs. Is it going to be? I mean, you don't need to tell us what the control set is because it was just, the game's not even out yet. But are there subtle differences between Fight Night Champion and what you guys are trying to achieve?
That's a great question. Now, some aspects will obviously feel familiar, being a boxing game, but others will feel completely new, and that's just the deliberate design function on our part. If you watch the previous trailer of the movement stuff, you'll see and you'll have a gauge of an idea. But yeah, there's going to be some familiar feeling to it, but there's going to be completely new ones as well.
Brilliant. And looking at what happened disastrously with Cyberpunk, the game was due to be released, and then the producers rushed the game out. Is this game on track? And I take it quality does come first, doesn't it? So if it needs to be delayed, it will be delayed. Is it on track though, the game in general, for a release?
Yeah, so we're on track. We're gonna release early access on the PC via Steam in the coming months, and we'll be launching another gameplay trailer soon. We are on track for that. We know that mainstream boxing games haven't been made in 10 years, as we've discussed. It's long overdue, but the fans need to realize it's not Steel City Interactive's fault. That it's been 10 years. We're just one of the studios that's stopping it. We're here to change it. So whilst creating the biggest boxing game ever made, we've got hundreds of individual licenses in the game. That's got to be it's got to be a new record for a video game, to be honest. But console launches will follow towards the later this year, I should say. But yeah, we're on track. We're on track to release.
Brilliant. John, you haven't played a game in a while. I know you're still playing on your Mega Drive.
That's so true as well. I do still play the Mega Drive when I get a chance because I'm not a big gamer. However, having said that, just listening to Faud, because I'm a huge boxing fan, I've got a PS4 in the house. I don't have a 5, but hearing it will be on the PS4, I'll probably go and get it. The problem is, whenever I've tried to play the PS4 with the older teenagers and stuff like basketball or whatever, I just can't get to grips with it. So, but I'll have a try.
Yeah. You should train yourself up for the ESBC. We'll have some little mini tournaments within the boxing media. That'll be pretty cool.
You just want to guarantee a win every fight, don't you?
Nah, but yeah, it's gonna be great. Listen, the project's huge, and me not just being part of the team, but even as a fan myself, I take myself away a year and a half ago when I first heard about it. I was instantly like doing my research myself, so I know exactly how fans feel. The wait's been long, but like I just mentioned there in your previous question, the wait's been long, but we're here to stop that and ultimately change the game.
Yeah, I mean, when I first took a look as well, on the website you had something like 50 licensed fighters, and now it's gone up to 65. So clearly that roster is just growing and growing and growing, which is excellent. So yeah, guys, thank you for your time today. The game will be out soon. Now stick around at the end of this for an exclusive trailer as well, which we'll put on at the end of this. And yeah, let's make sure it comes out soon so we can all play it.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Fight!
Bobby Sessions, legend. Yeah. Remembering.
So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.